Thank you. I've got a couple of announcements. The first thing is that there is a lucky draw prize today. There's actually 3. So at the end of the presentation, we'll pull 3 names out of a hat, and there are 3 prizes, 1 for each person. So stay tuned for that. But before that, we have the main event. A man who don't need no introduction, but I'll do it anyway. Eugene Dubossarsky, the founder of Data Science Sydney, and a lot more than that as well. He's got a lot of other things I'm sure he'll mention. But he's also the master of Kung Fu of Malabar. You might not know that. He does Kung Fu with my aunt down at the beach every morning. So yes, they knew each other before I met him. But anyway, here he is, Eugene.
Thanks, Aidan, for this event, uncharacteristically brief and tame introduction. Very civilized, actually. Thank you. And it's a pleasure to see everyone here. Pleasure to see all of those that are here for the first time. Hands up if you're here for the first time. Quite a few of you are. Talk to some of you. Hope to meet the rest of you. Also, a big welcome to all the old and dear friends that I see. Tears coming to my eyes. It's not spring allergies. I really do love you folks. Okay, it's a bit of both. Seriously, it's heartwarming to see so many old and dear friends, some of whom have come from interstate. Hey, Ed. Primarily for this event, which is, yeah, touching. At least 2 people in the room have suffered recent bereavements, which I offer my condolences to, and wonder what the heck you guys are doing here, but thank you for being here. You know who you are, and yeah, support. The heart goes out to you. Yeah, well, glad to see you all here. Am I going to talk about all the different things I'm doing, as Aidan said? Well, yeah, no, you can look up LinkedIn or something. No, not a secret. Most of it isn't a secret. Yeah, doing a talk with this rather enticing title, hopefully enticing. Humanizing AI. So yeah, more on that. Should I be looking at the screen or should I be looking at that? I really don't know how to do this. Screen. Yeah, okay. That was a rhetorical question, Aidan. Yeah, well, you may want to take note of my contact details. Why? Because it might be interesting later. When will it be interesting? It'll be interesting when we get to question time, as you'll discover. Yeah, so also there is a picture of a cat. There'll be plenty more of those. I'll explain the illustration policy and the need for an illustration policy and the nature of the illustration policy as we go. I also had a debate already with my good friend Ingo about the quote, "Oh, the humanity," and how recognizable or not that quote may be, and how it perhaps dates me that I expect it to be recognizable. But anyway, come on, Fabian, seriously? Is this a German thing?
Yeah, exactly, you should know. I do not recognize it. Does that date me? To Lima.
All right. So
the cat identifies as a human.
There's or it just gives up. By the look of it, that cat's had enough. Yeah, there's about 50 odd slides, maybe 60 odd. I've lost count. So yeah, at this rate, are we going to get through them all? Let's see. Let's start with the big thanks. So big thanks are in order. Big thanks are in order to everybody that I've had chats with, big and small, that have prompted thought on these topics, maybe asked me questions, maybe told me insightful things, maybe just made me feel good enough to think about this kind of thing. But here are some of the people that I want to thank. If you're one of them, Tom, give yourself a pat on the back. Actually, how many of you? Okay, Tom's here. Anyone else? Is he the only one? Wow. Okay. Well, we got one. Now, just because I'm thanking these people doesn't mean that these views are their views. In fact, for at least one of them, I'm pretty sure that person's views are completely contrary to everything I'm presenting. And yes, you know, I'm still very good friends with them. You can be friends with people you disagree with. I know that's a strange thing to say in 2023, but yeah, it's a thing. Speaking of disagreement, also kind of managing expectations. There'll be a few managing expectations slides, but this is the who this talk is for slide, which is also kind of a what can you get out of this talk. And the thing is, you may be a very serious AI person already, and you may have very serious and very strong AI views. And you may think, well, first of all, everything Eugene is saying is a bunch of nonsense. Well, I'd be surprised if you don't say that about at least part of the talk, to be honest. In fact, I'm not sure I agree with this entire talk myself, more on how raw it is later. So I'm a big fan of what I call radical uncertainty. So I'm a bit perplexed by all these people who have, because they have expertise in an area, they have very strong views. Because usually when I have expertise in an area, that makes me more confused. So yeah, I'm happy to be confused about the topics I'm presenting. I'm even happy to pretend to not be confused about the bits that I am confused about. And if you disagree, well, that's fine. And as you'll hear later, I'm actually interested to hear in what it is that you disagree with. I do want to hear from you. I want to hear what you think is wrong, and maybe I also want to hear what you think is right, but was expressed in a clumsy way. It's all good. I like feedback. Also, you may be one of these very, very clever AI people who listens to it and goes, okay, well, I don't disagree with it, but it's kind of boring. It's kind of not new. Well, yeah, look, this isn't really a talk for the AI elite, let's face it, but you might still get something useful out of it. What you might get out of it? Well, maybe you might get some useful ways of framing things to your colleagues, clients, managers, and so forth. So, you know, there's sometimes value in presenting an old thing in a new way to an audience, and you might get that. And of course, you may be neither of those extremes. You may be in the happy middle. You may be just here for the ride, in which case, well, enjoy. Now, that's a bad dog, and he knows he's a bad dog. It's actually a puppy. We don't want to be too mean to this puppy. Yeah, it looks pretty cute. So those of you who know me know that, especially in recent times, there are things I haven't been doing. What haven't I been doing? So when I give a talk, this is probably the first talk in a long time with slides. Yeah, you haven't seen me do slides for a long time. And the truth is that it's not just the slides that are missing. Most of the time, I talk completely off the cuff. And let's face it, I get away with it. This time, I'm being extra nice. The other thing is, I am, well, if I were to give myself a pat on the back and be a glasses half full guy, I'd say I'm an abstract thinker. I'm conceptual. Now that, I think, is just butt covering for saying I'm lazy and I don't do examples. So yeah, someone who doesn't do examples may be very abstract and conceptual, or they may just be lazy. And slides, when you don't have slides and you don't have examples, oh yeah, talks can be a little dreary. And the other thing that I often haven't done, even when I have had slides, and even when, gosh, I've had examples, and this includes my courses, not just my presentations, is not making them visual enough. People like pictures. Now, it's time to talk about pictures. Now, this picture is actually quite unusual for the rest of the presentation. Why? Because this picture has something vaguely related to the subject matter at hand. Remember when I mentioned the whole conceptual thing? Now, I may or may not be one of these truly abstract conceptual people I'm tending to claim to be. But this topic is a very conceptual topic. And what I found is when I'm doing slides on a very conceptual topic, and did I mention I hate doing slides? When I'm doing slides on a very conceptual topic, it's really hard to illustrate it. But I discovered something. Okay, I'm going to share with you one of my discoveries. People like pictures. That's the discovery. People like pictures. The pictures don't really need to have much to do with the subject matter. I might have wrecked it. I might have wrecked it. But the point is, you're going to see me put up pictures that are there. Well, imagine the talk without the pictures. It would be dreary. But the pictures don't necessarily have a direct semantic relationship with the content, I'm afraid. Maybe. Or maybe you can see one, in which case I want to hear about it. But for that reason, that's actually incredibly liberating, because what that let me do is to share with you possibly the most powerful pictures in the universe. And these are a set of pictures that I use to cheer up my son when he has a tantrum. I have a 7-year-old son, and he has a bad mood, and he's crying, and he can't stop. Dad, I feel bad. Can you stop crying? No. Do you want to see a picture of Mean Cat? Yes. And then he's happy. And who is Mean Cat? Well, that turned out to be the first of a series of pictures that is, well, again, guarantee is kind of a word that only really applies in the world of pure mathematics, right? In the real world, everything's probabilistic. But with a high probability, that picture will cheer up my son. So I hear you. We need to make things more visual. Now, the other thing I don't do very well is questions. So those of you who've been to my presentations know that I have an issue with questions. Now, I'm going to address this because there will be questions in this talk. You may not be satisfied with the form of the questions. It may not be quite what you have in mind, but I'm trying to arrive at a win-win here. And here's the thing. I will invite one kind of question. It's a meta question. So I'll cut to the chase. I am not going to be answering questions in this forum on this slide presentation, which is not to say I won't answer questions on these slides, far from it. But in this forum, I will not be answering questions on the slides. However, I'm willing to answer questions on my questions policy. So if you want to say, Eugene, why do you have this stupid policy? Yeah, we can have a chat about that. 2, you can do all those things that people do during questions. You can get up, you can make a 2-minute statement about whatever you like, and then ask a rhetorical question, and someone else can answer it. It won't be me. If you want me to answer it, that's fine. You have to do something. You have to contact me outside of this talk. You can actually grab me in the networking session after the talk even and ask me that. Why? Because I don't want to do open exploration of topics as a performance thing. It's a bit unpleasant, it's a bit hard, and I want to filter out all the people who actually don't have a question at all. They just, they want to do a Data Science Sydney presentation too, and that's fine, they should, but they shouldn't do it in question time. So yeah, if you really want to honestly discuss anything you see here, or have a question answer, or even make a comment, that's why my contact details from earlier on are a useful thing, mate. So yeah, we will have questions, but there'll be me asking you questions, or you asking each other questions, or yeah, not the question policy you like. And of course, I often have the advice to be friendlier. And what does that mean? Well, stop telling everybody they don't know anything. So I'm not telling you that because I don't know anything either. And 2, don't be such a doomer. I'm usually telling you how the world is ending in various ways in my talks. But we're talking about AI now, and there's nothing doomy about AI, is there? It's not like AI is going to end the world. Okay. Mean Cat. We've got Mean Cat now. That's something, right? So I hear you, and I'm trying to meet you halfway at least. So we have slides, we have examples, we have pictures of Mean Cat. You can ask questions at the end. I just probably won't answer them. Yeah, am I telling you that the world is ending? Well, I'm not telling you. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about some big topics. Some big topics in the topic of AI. So one big topic. Whenever people start talking about AI, the first thing you usually hear about is AI ethics. Very important, very big topic. Yeah, and a related but different topic is AI safety. And again, a slightly related but different topic again is, are we talking about a conscious being? Is it conscious? Does it have true human-like intelligence, or super intelligence? Doesn't have a soul? So there are some very, very, very big topics. And I bring them up, but I bring them up without a picture, right? So I did promise you a picture. Okay. All right. So here's a picture. Here are 3 big AI topics with a picture, but as I said, this is not, I promise to be nice. This is not a nice picture, yeah? So we're going to go with a picture that's even more likely guaranteed to make my son laugh. We refer to this one as hamster cat. So when Mean Cat doesn't work, we show James hamster cap. So we go from the 95th percentile to the 98th percentile of James getting over whatever it is that James needs to get over. And this brings me to the most important point on these incredibly important topics of, they're not going to be what I'm discussing today. It's not a talk about any of those things. Come to think of it, we might skirt very closely to some of them, but no, not today. Having said that, this may be something you want to hear about. Now, if it so happens that you actually get something out of this talk, and by something I mean just maybe half an hour of cheap entertainment, I mean, that's really all I'm aiming for here. If you get something out of this talk and you think it's worth me talking about any of these or related topics, please let me know, because the aim is to have a bit more of this. By the way, what are those? First of all, who thinks they're cute? Who thinks? None of you? No? Okay, come on. Be honest. Whose heart is breaking here? You're all liars. You can't contain yourselves. I know it. Okay, those things, they're kittens, but they're not just any kittens. They're manul kittens. So it's a wild cat called Pallas's cat or manul that lives in Eurasia, sort of around, I guess, Siberia and China, places like that. And the thing about manuls is they're like a big sort of fluff ball, even more so than a regular cat. And the kittens are very cute, and you're going to see more manuls. So this is important. This is very important to the subject matter. So if you want to hear more about any of these topics in some other talk, or you want more manul pictures, you get in touch with me. Now, there is also another kind of very common and very important talk on AI, and that's the AI for enterprise topic. And there's, well, you've probably gone to one or two of those, and it's brought to you by Vendors Incorporated, usually. Vendors Incorporated and I have an interesting relationship, which those of you who know me know about. And Vendors Incorporated tend to be, or Enterprise Incorporated, which is a client of Vendors Incorporated, tends to be all about big applications on the cloud, of course. There's always something about chatbots. There's always something about scale. Everything's really, really, really big. Everything's automated. And just in case you didn't hear me mention cloud, there's cloud again. And of course, they're very interested in safety issues. So what are the key AI safety issues? Is it that AI might destroy the world? Well, no, it's actually that AI may say mean things, that AI sometimes makes mistakes. Did you realize AI makes mistakes, unlike people? Shocked. And that you shouldn't tell AI your secret stuff, because then both you and Sam Altman know all your secrets. Okay, so this is very interesting, and this is why we have conferences, and lots of people get paid lots of money for talking about these things. And this is important stuff, and there's still no picture, and yeah, I forgot the picture, right? So I need it. I'm breaking my rule. Remember I said the pictures don't really represent stuff? This is one of those rare moments when we'll have some representation happen, because I'm thinking, well, what would represent a big, lumbering, bureaucratic behemoth? And this is all I managed to come up with. That's called a manatee, and it only occurred to me later. That the, well, this is a very bad pun, but hey, my talk. Oh, the humanity. Oh, the huge manatee, right? So, you know, the sort of the enterprise / automation / sort of IT take on AI, very important take, but we're not doing it today, and the manatee's upside down. Yeah, I think it's well covered enough already. And in fact, of the 120 people who responded to this talk, the ones that didn't turn up, they're probably at a AI for enterprise brought to you by Vendors talk somewhere, because there's probably 10 of them around town, even as we speak. So yeah, that one's easy to find. We're not doing that.